You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 4 p.m.
Ford F-150, number one seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
I think whenever you get a new car, Miss Beaches, you have time to figure it out. Because technology today, is crazy. I've never bought a brand new car in my life. I always had a pre-owned car. So is the technology new for me? Sure, but not like 2025. Anyway, you ever borrow someone's like brand new car, or you get like a loaner car that's new, or you just get a different vehicle and it's the same year as your car? Sometimes you're like, how do you start it? How do you get into drive? It's not like it used to be.
There's a lot of computer to these new computers.
I know, it's just a screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no analog gauges anymore. But I mean, just like radio, air conditioning, all that, it's almost like you have to learn it a little bit. You might have to sit in the car for 5 or 10 minutes when you first get in it to figure out the basics.
Sure.
I mean, windshield wiper, blinkers, those are all the same. But honestly, like radio, finding stations, air conditioning up and down, cold or hot, sometimes it's kind of hard on these new. It's not as easy as before.
Sure. Yeah.
But I'm not saying let's go back to the analog crap and the physical buttons and stuff. I like the touch screens and so many more options, Bluetooth, all kind of goodies.
The cameras.
The cameras. My car has. I left on like I could turn it all off, but it hit like. Tells me, it beeps if I'm about to slam into something, which I mean, I'm not slamming into it. I see it. I'm just braking late, or something like that, or I'm going to go around them. But I've had my car actually hit the brakes a couple of times and tighten up the seatbelt when I was going to go around the car,
It knows.
Oh, well, it thinks it knows. It's starting to figure out my driving, I guess, a little bit, which is good.
Good.
But anyway, yeah, it beeps and the cameras are all around, even like an above shot. I'm like, what, do they fly a drone over my car? Just all that digital. I know, it's pretty amazing.
The one thing that they're doing with the newer cars that just bugs me is that the red lights, the cars turn off.
Oh, that sucks. And a lot of them, you can't override it.
Mm-mm.
Every time you get in, you have to hit the little E button or whatever to turn that off so the motor doesn't cut off at the red light.
Yeah, that's obnoxious.
No, I don't like that either. It is kind of obnoxious. I guess over the life of the car, you've saved a few fill-ups of gas, I'm guessing.
I mean,
that's what I'm thinking. I know, and I'm just wondering, like, the starter having to start the car, is that part going to wear out? I mean, it is going to be. It's going to wear more than normal, but like we've done a million starts with it. It's not going to break. The car will fall apart and rust before this part breaks. I have no idea. I have no clue.
The best mechanics tell me they believe that the way they have it set up, it might last for, like you said, like a million times, but it's going to wear.
Well, yeah, everything does.
Yeah,
but I mean, will it break because it's
they don't know yet.
Well, I think they know.
Maybe so.
My brother has this old Mercedes, like 2-door. It's a big long 2-door where literally when you get in it, this arm sticks out about a foot where you can grab the seat belt because the door is so long. And it's got a full back seat.
Okay.
So you have to fold up the front seat and someone can climb in the back seat, but the seat belt is not hooked to like the seat, like on an American car.
Okay.
It's way back in like the back pillar, but this mechanical arm comes out like 18 inches with the seat belt hooked on it. So you grab the seat belt when it comes to you. That 1985 Mercedes, those mechanical arms still work with the seatbelt going in and out. They've never been repaired, never been oiled or lubricated.
Did you say the word Mercedes?
Well, no, that's true too. Yes. And those German engineers are psychopaths.
Hyundai with the little arms.
I don't know. The Japanese would copy the Germans probably and make it work pretty.
Maybe so.
If it was the Chinese car, yes, it would break within a week. Yeah, my buddy's like in China. He's like, wow, an X5 BMW. And as he pulls up, he's like, it's not an X5 BMW. It is literally China taking an X5 BMW, take apart every single piece, catalog it, copy it, and we're going to just manufacture that. So you can go to the BMW dealership in like Shanghai and get the BMW for 60 grand. Or you can get the Chinese piece of crap copycat for probably 30. And it is no way the same fit and finish and quality of build, but it is a copycat of every part and just thrown together, just total, copyright infringement. And I talk about Latrim all the time, the Intralocks conveyor belts. They are in China. Latrim has a presence in China. The Intralocks all plastic modular conveyor belts are all over China. And there are competitors that have those belts that are breaking the patent laws, and they're called like Miss Peach's belt or Corey's belt. And then there's some belts that say Intralocks on them in China, like, oh, no, we're going to steal the belt and the name, you know? So constant lawsuits in China over copyright infringement. Intralocks and Latrim is like one of thousands of American companies dealing with this all the time. Worldwide companies. China doesn't really believe in, you know, the copyright, and anyone invents it, you can copy it. No one has the rights to that. They don't really subscribe to that. If you look at like China's military, there's very few things that they've developed. It's, wow, that looks exactly like the U.S. version of our plane. Wow, that looks like the Russian plane. It's all stolen and copied, you know.
Yeah, they just wait for us to build something, and then you're like,
well,
you
they
said,
sometimes
just
don't even wait for
idea.
us, Miss Peaches. I think they've got some General Electric nuclear power plants, the next gen, already in operation in China, and we don't even have those built yet here. We're like still building them. It's General Electric technology that they pilfered, that they stole, and have already using that technology to build. So yeah, they don't even wait for us to build sometimes. They just steal the plans and go with it. Anyway.
Scary.
That's today's China Talk. I'm Corey Johnson. Could have said Chinaman. That's just like, you know,
wow.
The Chinaman, yeah, that goes in the wow category, doesn't it? I had a friend of mine. He's like, dude, I'll send the Latinos over. I'm like, well, what did you say? That's like he's got workers. They just happen to be Latino. I mean, he's had workers before that are white. He's had workers before that, but he never said sending the whites over, sending the blacks. But he told me one time, I can send my Latinos over. I'm like, yours, huh? Wow. Where do you keep them, in a box? You know, I was like, wow.
So how
I was like, I should have said, no Latinos, send the whites and the blacks. No Irish. We'll take the Italians. You know, it was just crazy. Oh, boy. You know, sometimes people don't even mean it, Miss Peaches, like, you know, but when you hear it, you're like, wow. You know, it's like a knock you down kind of thing. Israel, Iran, ceasefire. Trump says so. Apparently, Donald Trump not only had some B-2s, dropped some bunker busters. Trump himself dropped an F-bomb today. Yep, had to beep that out. A French Quarter restaurant owner, a French Quarter restaurant owner, a French Quarter resident together are suing the mayor over the trash contract. They want IV to stay. This thing's so simple. I mean, there's just a right and wrong way to do it. And it's not penalizing Troy Henry. He kind of messed himself up by not having his you-know-what together with Richards in the beginning. Council had no other way to go but the emergency contract with IV. That should run its course just through December. It would end in a few months anyway. Instead of at the end of next month, it would end at the end of December. So you'd have what? August, September, October, November, 5 more months, what the original contract called for. And way before that contract ends, like in August, instead of swapping, you know, waste haulers, bid out the new contract starting in January of 2026 for the next 8 years, 7 years. That's what this deal is. It's an 8-year, $73 million trash contract. That's what Troy Henry's getting. 8 years, $73 million. Troy Henry will be picking up trash in the French Quarter and CBD when the next mayor or the mayors after that is in their second term, or a mayor after that's in their first term, but it would be after another mayor already had a term. It's 7 years down the road. No, you finish out the deal to December with IV, and in August or September, you bid out the new deal. And maybe IV wins it. Maybe Henry Consulting wins it. Maybe River Parish Disposal, Metro, Richard, ServPro. I don't know. I don't care, but that's the fair thing to do for everyone involved. IV Waste gets to finish their emergency deal through December. And then before that deal's even done, we'll know if they're continuing into January or there'll be a new trash hauler. But a new bidding process instead of this hell-bent mayor just going against the grain, because that's what she does. Contrary for no reason. She likes that. She's a contrarian. Hey, it's The Real Deal with Dan Real coming your way next. Lots of topics. You're going to like it. Hey, you know what you're going to like? Art and Eyes on Magazine. If you wear prescription glasses or you need a great pair of sunglasses, do not waste your money at the strip mall or some chain store, nationwide chain store. Get super high quality eyewear you'll find nowhere else. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Google them. If you need a great pair of prescription frames or some sunglasses, Art and Eyes on Magazine.
The Woodhouse Day Spa with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Prepared with experience, depth, knowledge, and a history in the game. Corey Johnson.
Years later, a doctor will tell me that I have an IQ of 48.
I am the smartest man alive!
Ouch, that hurts, the IQ of 48 thing. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. Hey, the phone lines are open if you ever want to jump in on the conversation, and you may want to do that over the next 40 minutes. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Miss Peaches fielding your phone calls at 766-9480. It's a little after 4:20 on a Tuesday. We will roll with this guy till 5 o'clock. It's The Real Deal with Dan Reel. How you doing this afternoon, Dan?
Doing great, Corey. Glad to be back.
Yep. Stay hydrated and stay cool, brother. It is hot out there, man. Last few days we've been doing that feels like north of 100 gimmick.
Yeah, by the way, you weren't doing that 48 IQ as an entrance to my segment intentionally, were you?
No, it was specifically geared towards me, sadly.
All right.
Yep. It's a regular one. I'm going to have to put a 1 in front of it, but then I'd be a Mensa member, and I don't think I'm a Mensa member. Somewhere in between 48 and 148. Let's go with that, Dan.
Yeah, I'm in there too.
You ready to jump on a slew of topics, man? I might have a dozen topics today.
I love it. Let's go. Whatever you want to start with.
I guess Israel and Iran. Apparently, there's a ceasefire. Trump says there is. Trump, I said a minute ago, not only dropped some bunker busters, he dropped an F-bomb today. Ouch.
Yeah, obviously a big deal, biggest deal over the past week. And I'm watching it pretty intently. I think it's important and it's interesting and historical, and who knows how it's going to end. But I don't know many that disagree with the intent. Obviously, some people are worked up about, the way it went down and was it legal and was it not. But, I think it's a good move and it's for the betterment of the world, not just the United States. And I don't have a problem with it.
That Ayatollah should just retire. He's like 86. Go chill out somewhere at a nice resort in Iran for the rest of your life. Get some younger thinking people in, some Iranians. Iranians aren't Arabs. A lot of folks think they're Arabs. They're not. The rest of the region, all Arabs and Israelis. And I think a lot of Israelis and Arabs have the same DNA anyway. Palestinians and Jews are connected. But these are Persians. It isn't a created country after a war. Britain, it's not a former British colony or something. Iran's it's been a world power for thousands of years, and it should be a great country. It's like 80, 90 million people, Dan. So I think if they could get out of their own way, they don't have to abandon Islam or their religious beliefs. All those Middle Eastern countries, that religion still dominates the agenda, but a little more freedom, a little more democracy, open things up a little bit. I mean, that country should be prospering.
Yeah, definitely. But, it's tough. It's only really 40 years through this, new world that they've created there.
Yeah, the revolution.
I saw some video of like the 1970s, and it could have been anywhere USA in some of the videos, cars going and the women were able to drive.
The women's the most just glaring difference. Women are just part of society back in the 60s and 70s in Iran.
Yeah. No, I'm not in a position in my own mind where I think that, capitalism and our social structure is what needs to go there. But I also don't think that they have a Gorbachev. So you're going to have to find somebody that is hopefully reasonable, but that's different than what the society sounds like. So it's a tough one, but they have 3 guys picked out, it sounds like, ranging from, being an immediate successor that fulfills the current leader's vision, and 2 other guys that sound like they're somewhere in the middle. So hopefully we get somebody like that. But they look to be three different guys in their late 60s, and I hope they at least select somebody that's going to be open to trying to allow their people to be free.
Yep. Trump sending over 7 B-2 stealth bombers, each carrying a couple of those bunker busters. I think they all dropped their load, like 13 or 14 of those bombs dropped. That might have been the turning point. Obviously, a lot of folks did not want the United States to get involved in any way. Trump said that was all they were going to do. And those underground nuclear facilities, there was no way to get to them without those bunker busters. And who knows if those even got, did all the destruction they were hoping for. But that was a big move, injecting the United States into this Israeli-Iranian war.
Yeah, I have a pretty strong opinion about this one. And I think, after being on the show, or me being on the show for the last few months, I'm pretty down the middle kind of guy. I'm not driven by a party. I'm driven by the idea. And it wouldn't have mattered to me who the president was. I think this was a slick move. I think it was really well done. I think it shows the power of our military in a way that was for the betterment of the world and not to hurt or harm people. And if the worst thing that happened is that their nuclear system is set back, no matter how long it was, that's a good outcome for the world. And so I have a real problem with the people who are saying, I don't mind the outcome, but they should have come to us, like through Congress. Yeah, that really would have fooled a lot of people after, 500 people need to get involved, even if it was the gang of 8. You know what? I wouldn't have cared if this was Barack Obama or President Trump. It was the right thing to do. It was a world-class effort that they pulled off. Unbelievable strength of our military, unbelievable effort all around. And it's led to what we have right now, which, fragile as it may be, there's a ceasefire. How does it end? I don't know. Today's better than it was 10 days ago. That's all I know. And it was something the entire world would have wanted. But you can't have it both ways.
It's The Real Deal with Dan Reel. Dan Reel joining me every single Tuesday, 4:20 to 5 o'clock. Lots of topics. Hey, Dan, as predicted, at least here, no surprises for me at all. A federal appeals court says Louisiana's 10 Commandments law unconstitutional. That seemed pretty obvious to me.
Yeah, I think it's a tough discussion. You want to put them in public schools, and I'm Roman Catholic, but I don't know all 10 commandments right now. I'm not the right guy to ask about the level of religion. I think they are meant to have good intentions on children as they're growing up, to understand that's not a bad thing to build your life around, and looking at those, they're all meant to do good things. But I'm not worked up over this one either way. And part of the reason is, what do you stop putting in the schools? So you just have to, I think, be consistent. And if you're a parent that really believes in this, there's plenty of time in your life. I don't think it changes a single outcome as far as the student's growth goes. And I'm not losing a lot of sleep over it. I get why people would. I'm just not.
I don't get why people would. I mean, I'm Catholic. I like the 10 Commandments. I know the 10 Commandments. I live by them. Not the first 3 so much, although I follow those by default. But I don't think God has an ego where he needs those first 3. But anyway, if it were the 7 tenets of Buddhism, people would freak out in Louisiana. They'd be like, what do we have to do with Buddhism? We'd be like, hey, there are 4,000 Buddhists in Louisiana. So it's not like they're none, and I'm just making up that number. And their 7 tenets are very good things that people will live by. No one could say they're bad things. They're like the 10 Commandments in Christianity. People would lose their you-know-what, Dan. It's like January 6th. If it were Democrats or black folks attacking the Capitol, all these folks that think January 6th is like a little pimple on someone's back, they would be freaking out the opposite way. So, no, it's pretty simple for me.
It doesn't matter what the issue is. The big deal with the Republican Party is that there's actually some dissent. It's rare for anybody to see that nowadays. It's fractured a little, and the other party seems to think like, oh, it's ready to pounce. Look, they don't agree. The problem is when everybody lines up with whatever their person is doing. Alex Padilla, if that was a Republican, everyone on that side would have been outraged. It doesn't matter who it is or what it is. They have to be aligned or they're not moving forward. And the irony is they have an approval rate that is lower than LaToya, and that says a lot.
Now, who has the approval rating lower than LaToya?
The Democrats, who are arguing, about Alex Padilla.
The Democrats are lost. I mean, the Democrats are trying to be everything to everybody, and they end up being nothing to everyone. So no, they need to jettison the about 90% of the way they approach things. They need to focus in on their core ideology, and they need a new group of people to lead. And it ain't AOC or, man, if I'm a Republican, I'd be like, please, Bernie and AOC gain traction with the Democrats. Please. The woke thing is obnoxious.
Yeah, listen, I think they think that speaking up about every topic and being on the other side is standing up, and that's not what people want. I want a strong Democratic Party in this country. I like a strong two-party system. I want that to be what it was before, where it was middle class, hardworking, and that was who you stuck up for, and that's what that side was. And instead, every 80-20 issue, they're speaking up on the other side, getting louder and louder, and expecting people to think that they're making progress, when the reality is it's exactly what you said. Whoever's left standing, whether it's, well, it can't be Bernie, but he's going to be mid-80s by then. But they're not putting themselves in great position. I have to be thinking there are a couple people outside of Newsom thinking about possibly moving forward in the next couple of years. There has to be. And I wouldn't be surprised to see your buddy Mitch throw his hat in the ring at some point.
Yeah, I think Pennsylvania's governor, Maryland's governor, Newsom. There's some folks that can gain traction, but yeah, the old guard's got to go. There's no doubt about it. It's the real deal with Dan Real. So Dan, we agree, and we got about 20 seconds to the break.
Yeah.
10 Commandments unconstitutional. It's all or none. You put that up, you got to put every religion up, or put none up. There's a reason why it's unconstitutional, right?
Yeah, again, if it was up or if it wasn't up, it wouldn't bother me. But I will say that.
Hold that butt. Coming right back. More of The Real Deal with Dan Real.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint. Paint Supply.
Uptown, Carrollton, Riverbend, Holly Grove, Kirktown, Gentilly, Lakefront, West Bank, Lakeview. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
All right, Dan, I'm lost on the but part about the 10 Commandments. I don't know, where's there a but? I'm Christian. I like the 10 Commandments. It's my faith. Jesus is my God. I'm also an American. The Constitution's clear. No infiltration of religion. It's like the Slidell courthouse wall. They put a Jesus Christ picture up. The judge said, take it down or allow everybody's picture up. I think there's like 50 pictures up now, all kind of stuff on that wall. So it's none or everyone, and everyone's impossible. So why the but?
Well, the but is that I think it's been up on school walls for decades, and right or wrong, I mean, that's something that was, ingrained in children as wanting to do the right thing.
The 10 Commandments are up on public school walls for decades?
Well, it was up on mine. I went to Chicago public school. I can tell you that was up. We had a lot of things up, though. It was, it wasn't just that, but that was also in the 70s. This is a different time and age. The butt really starts to come up, Corey, if you want to talk about taking the flag down next, then I got a problem. And I don't think those are apples and oranges. I think we're going along the way where political correctness means
why? What's I don't get the
everything or nothing.
What's the flag connection? I don't get the flag connection.
Now there's flags that are going up in all these schools, and there's a problem with American flags. Kids wearing American flag shirts to school all of a sudden are getting sent home. And so the point and the connection to me is, at some point, you got to draw a line of what is and what isn't expected. I get your point, black and white, church and state, split it up. I'm saying I'm not an advocate for it, but I'm also not losing my mind if I found out it was in one of the schools that one of my kids went to.
You're not an advocate for the Constitution?
Of course I am.
I honestly, I'm not trying to be belligerent. What if it were the 7 tenets of Buddhism? You'd have the same attitude?
For me, yeah. I'm not, Corey. I remember my grammar school having like everybody's birthday on the wall, and we had presidents that I can't name up on the wall. I don't want to make a big deal about every single thing.
I know, but that's presidents on the wall or the Constitution or things like that. That's not religion. I don't get the flag comparison or any of that, Dan. To me, it seems just cut and dried, man. No gray area at all. No religion injected. No 7 tenets of Buddhism. No 10 commandments. No Islam. None of it. I don't know why there's a but. That's all. And I don't know why the flag comes into play or political correctness. This is Constitution.
Well, if you don't see that that's happening at the same time as this, then I don't know what to say.
Oh, no, it might be happening at the same time. I don't know what the 10 Commandments and the Constitution have to do with political correctness. That's all. I don't understand.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with it. But again, it's good. We disagree. That's fine.
Yeah. I was just we kind of agree on most, except we're a little bit just on that one. August 1st.
It's not my best answer, I'll admit, but I also don't get worked up over a ton of stuff. I care about things that I think really make a difference. And you're right. It should be black and white to the Constitution, I guess. That's just not the way I look at it. I get more worried now about everything or nothing in almost every case.
Yeah, no, it's obnoxious. You're right. There's a lot of gray areas people refuse to acknowledge. Hey, August 1st, I'm fired up about this. The traffic cameras will be illegal statewide except for school zones, and with no schools coming into play until maybe mid-August, one could say by August 1st there will be no traffic cameras operating in New Orleans. At least that's the state law.
I'm in favor of it.
Me too. But you think the city's going right now, Dan? It's so funny. The city's like, yeah, we're trying to figure out how we're going to approach that. What do you mean figure it out? It's against the law, August 1st. There's nothing to figure out. And I love this part too. Right now, the city has these like crappy 2-hour blanket school zones with schools starting and stopping at all different times. You know, they have like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. State law, if you're going to run a traffic camera, it can only be an hour before the first bell rings and an hour after. Just common sense stuff, Dan, instead of trying to rip off taxpayers.
Corey, what I'll tell you is, as a father of 3 daughters who drove from Lakeview to uptown to go to Sacred Heart for 4 years in a row.
Yep.
This is a good thing for me. I think my mailman had carpal tunnel delivering those notices to my house.
I'm telling you.
You know, 26 in the 20, and it was crazy. And I'm glad it's gone. Obviously, I hope that keeps things safe. The truth is, the traffic is kind of crazy during those most of those critical times anyway.
Exactly.
I tried to go through that area with or without the cameras. It's still stop and go. So I think good, it's gone.
Yeah, no, 26 and a 20 is a great example that's just so stupid. And then the opposite, you get people like literally, Dan, like crapping in their pants. They're doing like 12, 14 miles an hour. It's like grandma with the oxygen tank and the walker on the sidewalk's going to walk faster than your car's driving. So you get that too. You get I see it on Carrollton, 35 mile an hour zone. People doing like 28, 25 because there's a camera there. I'm like, really? Anyway, yeah, glad to see those go. Well, hopefully they'll go. You know, the belligerent mayor in the city, we'll see how they handle that. The Sewage and Water Board, that substation's going to open in about 3 weeks, just in time for hurricane season. That's a big plus, Dan.
It's a huge, huge plus.
Got to have the power.
Yeah, I mean, I think at a time, especially lately, we've been getting these heavy storms. It shows you. I mean, my neighborhood still floods all the time. And I just think for the city, that's great. We needed it. And they started it in 23. So it's not terrible. And I hope we can keep things moving like that, because to take that away from these old time other systems is incredibly important. So that's great. $300 million. It overshot the budget, of course, but still the product is what we needed.
Hey, that big red heart removed atop the pedestal at the old Lee Circle. I was kind of glad to see that go. I didn't mind the art. It just didn't fit up there. It wasn't the right size. What should go there, Dan, and what should the name be? I mean, it never was legally Lee Circle. People just called it that because of the statue. It's legally Tivoli Circle. I think they should just go back to Tivoli Circle, and then we come up with some kind of monument that goes up on that pedestal, something that Black, white, Asian, Latino, gay, straight, male, female all embrace, not something that's just one-sided. But the Harmony Circle thing I think is terrible, especially with Harmony Street about 1.5 miles down the road. So those are my thoughts on the old Lee Circle. What are yours?
I think the heart was up there for a purpose, right? An art display over a period of time.
That's right.
So it wasn't permanent, but I think it's still technically Tivoli Circle with Harmony Park, isn't it?
I guess.
Harmony Commons or something.
If Tivoli Circle's involved still, I could deal with the Harmony Park part.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'll check when we're done talking, but I'm almost positive I remember when they put that into place that they kept it Tivoli Circle, and I'm not near AI to look it up or anything, but I'm almost positive the Harmony was just the park area. I don't know what to put there. I mean, that's kind of sad. You know, I agree with you. It should be something everybody embraces, but
and not dopey, not hoodat, not a fleur-de-lis, something that 80 years from now you're like, that was a good call. So yeah, it's going to take a lot of thought
around the culture and celebrating everybody. That's a perfect time to celebrate everyone.
Yep. It's the real deal with Dan Real. Hey, Audubon Gutters put gutters on my house back in October every time it rains. I never worry. I never worry about clogged gutters or downspouts because I got the leaf guard system from Audubon Gutters. 35 years. The Gulf South's largest, most experienced gutter installation company. You need gutters for your home or business? AudubonGutters.com. AudubonGutters.com. Hey, Dan, Kenner cancels the Hispanic Heritage Festival, fear of ICE raids. 84 arrested in an ICE raid at Delta Downs in Vinton, that Mirabeau Water Garden. I don't get all this. This is a big waste of time. This is all politics at its worst. I mean, the Kenner Hispanic Festival canceling because they fear ICE raids coming. The 84 they arrested Delta Downs in Vinton. I mean, a couple of things. You're going to crush Vinton's economy. You're going to put Delta Downs out of business. And 2 of the 84, 2 of the 82 had a criminal record. The others didn't. This is so silly.
Yeah, I mean, here's another one we disagree. First of all, I feel terrible that Kenner canceled that. I think, I'm a huge supporter of, having your community celebrate your heritage and having a fest and a parade. I'm not Greek. My wife and daughters went to the Greek Fest. We go to French Quarter Fest. We try to support everything regardless. But I will say I feel terrible that happened. But, I think, Corey, the only thing that I think has changed with regards to feelings on deportations is social media. And you could disagree with me or not, but Bill Clinton, over 10 million. Barack Obama was literally called the deporter in chief. What's happening now is you're seeing every single thing that's happening, and it's tough. It's not easy to look at, but the reality is, you cannot run society without laws. We've talked about this, and that's my stance. So for those 84 people at Delta, my opinion, you find the 2 that you did, you send them home, and you let the other 82 go back to work. But you've got to at least go through a process to make sure that the people that are here are safe for us to be here as a society. So that's how I feel. I'm not worried about Delta Downs shutting down. They're not going to shut down.
Well, you're not worried about illegals committing crimes against you or your family either.
Yeah. I'm worried about everybody.
I don't worry about crime at all. I don't worry about crime being committed against me ever. And when U.S. citizens commit a higher percentage of crime than illegals, if I were worried, I'd be worried about my neighbor more than an illegal. I mean, those are the real percentages.
Yeah, but do you have the same feeling if there was 20 more million here? Like, where do you draw the line in your?
It's America capitalism. It works by itself. It's totally organic, Dan. The number's irrelevant. It's whatever supplies the food chain for you and me and everybody else and all the other Americans that don't want to do that dirty work. Hang on. When we come back, we'll get Dan Reel's take on all of that and more.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Elm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
New Orleans talk giant Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
I'll have the entire city of New Orleans.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM. Also from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida on 600 AM and 1560.
It's the real deal with Dan Real. Take it away, Dan. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good. You got to pay the bills, man. Hey, I have strong feelings about this, and mine haven't changed for 20 years, whether it was Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, or Donald Trump. I think the border should be guarded, and we should try to keep illegal immigration to a minimum. And what I would do right now if I was in charge, sometimes I talk to you, I have a business view on things. If I were in charge right now, what I would do is create a situation where between now and 2030 we're enforcing the border. We are going to build the wall, we're going to use the money, we're going to create it to where it's impenetrable. And then I'm also simultaneously, because this is the way our society works, America can do anything, I would build up a system that's ready to go in 2030 that expedites entry based on who you are. With AI and technology the way it is today, imagine what it's going to be in 5 years. We're going to be able to understand who's coming in, where they are, when they need to go, think forward, realize things are changing. That's a solution. And I think it's a fair one.
What makes you think all that's not going on right now? That the border seems pretty secure, I would say. And who says we don't know who's here?
Well, what happens if somebody else becomes president when they do?
I'm in agreement, Dan. The border should be secure all the time. But
you don't have a problem with the 12 million or whatever the number.
Oh, it might 12 to 20 million. Of course I don't. And then the real question to you is, if your system gets implemented and all these illegals or migrant workers, the 12 to 20 million that I'm not concerned with at all, they're just part of the fabric of the country. They're naturally here. It works perfectly with capitalism. If your system gets implemented, what happens? These folks become citizens. They start paying regular taxes. How does that work? Because if that's the case, all of a sudden meat, poultry, fruits and vegetables, a gallon of milk, it skyrockets in price. These people are making more money. They're having benefits. They're paying more taxes. Everything's going to go up in value. There's a reason this system works, because they're migrant workers. They are illegals.
That's not the way it works right now. We have more people than are needed right now for certain jobs. Yes, that's right. You're also making it sound like the only people coming across are hardworking people that just want to make a few bucks.
99 out of 100 are. Why else would you come here?
That is a ridiculous guess right there.
Why else would you come here?
You have no standing to say that number 99 out of 100. You have no idea.
Okay, I have some idea, Dan. Like, what you act like it's a lot. It's like a large percentage, like most are criminals or something. It's a minority. It is illogical to think folks are coming here that aren't working. And proof's in the pudding. Look at the Latinos and what they do in this country, that they work their tails off. They're some of the hardest working people in the country.
Do you think that's the opposite of what I said? That's not what I said. But to think that the only people coming across are those good people it's naive. It's ridiculous.
But to think it is a large percentage that's obnoxiously high is naive, that are criminals.
Okay, even if it's 1%, that means there's 100,000 people that don't belong here. That's too many, Corey. So, you know what? My system that I'll tell you about, there's no reason why in 5 years you can't finish the border. There's no reason why you can't build up a staff where tens of thousands of people daily can come back and forth and you know who they are. And then the other part about the 12 million who are here, you do what we're doing now. You leave the people who have not done anything wrong and you get rid of the people that don't belong here for the next 6 years. And that's how it plays out.
Yeah, I think it's just fantasy land. Like millions and millions of these migrants didn't come over the border. They flew in, came by boat, came on legally, and never left, and then became illegal. So it's not like everybody comes across the Rio Grande. And I would say, yeah, the clear vast majority are here to work. That you can see the people that are coming. It's not, the guys wearing the blue and red bandanas. That's good for like political commercials. But no, I love migrant workers. I think illegal aliens have been part of the fabric of American life since day one. I think all of this is a big political farce.
Well, you'll see in a few years, unfortunately, or less, somebody or something that came across recently is going to be the cause of something very tragic.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Realist.
It's meaningless to me. It could be a citizen that did that. It makes a difference if it's an illegal or a citizen that commits some crazy crime. What if it's some tourist from another country? We're going to ban tourists commit crimes. It's irrelevant.
The logic you're saying right now, there's a country of people that were born here or are legally here. You cannot let 10 to 20 million people who you do not know who they are enter your country. They are not 99 out of 100 here for good reasons. That is not anywhere near the reality. And to say that stop tourism or a citizen could do it, this is about the number one priority of a government is to keep its people safe. And you cannot trade off migrant workers in one hand, but somebody that might blow up a major building in another. It could be a citizen, you're right. But you know what? As a government, you need to protect me as much as possible. And by doing that, you need to limit the possibilities any way you can. And to have a wide open border and you tell me that it's going to keep peaches down, that is just not enough for me. I'm sorry.
I don't want to keep a wide open border. I like the border like it is today, but I don't worry about illegals and I don't worry about crime with illegals at all. No more than I would about a regular person. And when they commit less crime.
What you can't do is you can't turn it on me to say that I'm anti Hispanic, because that is
I didn't say that at all. I don't know why you took that.
Well, I said that because the last time I brought it up, you said all these people are good people. 99 out of 100 people are here to work. Like that is that's just not correct.
Well, I know that the crime rate is definitely lower. That's a fact with illegals than U.S. citizens. Citizens commit more crime than illegals do. So whatever the crime rate is amongst us, you, me, our neighbors, illegals commit less crime. There's a better chance of your neighbor murdering you than an illegal. There's a better chance of your neighbor raping or pillaging or blowing up than an illegal.
Listen, I'm glad the state came for our show here on my segment, but I want to revisit this because I just think what you're saying is crazy. One death of a Laken Riley is not the same as a citizen killing someone else. I'm sorry.
It's the exact same thing. When the family lost that person, and it's sad that they're gone, but I don't know why hey, if it wasn't illegal, they wouldn't be here. Well,
citizenship is not in the equation when it comes to crime. It's factored out.
Dan, let's pick this up on this topic next Tuesday. That's Dan Real, the real deal.
Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't need to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Here we go again, the 5 o'clock power hour already.
on a Tuesday afternoon. I told you the real deal with Dan Real, lots of topics. You're going to like it. Every Tuesday, 4:20 to 5 o'clock. Dan Real joins us with a slew of topics. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree. Always good stuff. This is New Orleans. I thought this was Ken and Brad. I was ready to do the Ken and Brad show. Instead, we'll do a New Orleans-based program. Yeah, you right. Tuesday afternoon, 5 o'clock power hour this afternoon. Brought to you by, where's that sheet that says so it's brought to you by, Miss Beaches? Brought to you by, Hell Paint and Decorating. In New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, Hell Paint and Decorating, because paint ain't paint. Say no to the big box store. Say no to the national chain. Are you kidding me? Locals know. 55 plus years in New Orleans. Hell Paint and Decorating. 7 locations. East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. They literally and figuratively have you covered. High quality Benjamin Moore paint, because paint ain't paint. Best paint on the planet, Benjamin Moore. I painted my house with Benjamin Moore paint. Lifetime guarantee. Never ever have to paint my house again. But because it's Hell Paint and Decorating and it's Benjamin Moore, I can change the color in 5 or 10 years if I want because it's affordable. 7 New Orleans locations, 4 Baton Rouge locations. That's right, capital city. Tiger Town, home of baseball's national champions. When it's time to paint, do like New Orleanians have been doing for going on 6 decades. Hell Paint and Decorating. They truly will steer you in the right direction. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, you go to Helm Paint and Decorating. 5 o'clock power hour on this Tuesday afternoon, brought to you by Helm Paint and Decorating in New Orleans, in Baton Rouge. I've told you about Texas Paint, huh? In Dallas. About 15 locations of Texas Paint owned by the Helm family of New Orleans. Yeah, Joey Helm and his family. They acquired Texas Paint about 7 or 8 years ago. A company that had been around since 1948, a legendary Texas company that had kind of lost its way, I guess. 4 locations when Joey picked them up. Now they've got 15 locations in the Metroplex of Dallas. So when you count the 15 Texas Paint locations, the 11 Helm Paint and Decorating locations in New Orleans and Baton Rouge, 26 paint stores owned by the New Orleans Helm family, including 15 in the Metroplex of Dallas. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Taking over paint in Dallas. If I'm not mistaken, Miss Peaches, now I know Dallas is 4th in population in America in the Metro. They're about to surpass Chicago. They'll be number 3. New York, LA, Chicago, Dallas. I think Dallas is the number 1 paint market in America. The number 1 paint market. They sell more paint in Metro Dallas than like $600-700 million a year in paint in Dallas. All the paint stores combined, including Texas Paint, just because of so much new construction, so much money. So people are, hey, let's change the color of the house. Let's just paint the inside, redoing those nice houses that have been around like in Highland Park for decades. So mucho dinero in the Dallas Metroplex, and I think it's the number 1 paint market in America. Crazy. So much money in Texas, Miss Peaches. And 8+ million in Metro Dallas. 8+ million people. My God, it's like its own country. I mean, like Sweden, the Netherlands, you know, I shouldn't say the Netherlands, but I think like Sweden, Finland, you know, Norway, those are like 8, 10, 12 million people. It's like Metro Dallas, the whole country. Crazy. Israel, Iran, speaking of countries, a ceasefire, at least Donald Trump says so, and that appears to be the case. Donald Trump over the weekend dropping some bunker buster bombs with those B-2 flights. Today, the president dropped an F-bomb, literally, to the media. No, he was ticked off this is kind of the part of Donald Trump I do like. Like, he's just like Iran and Israel, they've been doing this forever. And he's just like, they F-bomb, don't get it, It's just like they don't realize what they're doing. And there's sort of a truth to that. You get so caught up in the fight. That's why, a super wise man said, the only person that, if you hate somebody, the only person that affects is you, because the person you, quote, hate either is unaware of it or doesn't care, unaware of it or doesn't care. So, no, I'm lucky. Being vindictive or jealous or envious, I don't know. I've just never understood those traits. I've never gravitated towards them ever. I just don't, I'm not jealous or envious of people. I mean, it's like a blessing, I guess. But I think they're bad traits. You don't want to embrace those traits. If you do get jealous or envious of people, or you're vindictive or mean-spirited, or you're going to put the energy into hating, man, 86 that. It's a waste of time. You're carrying an anvil, a sack of bricks, a monkey, a piano on your back. 86 all that. Realize it and move on. It's a waste of time. I think a lot of people that are like that, they just don't even know it. They hate, and they're hateful people, and they've embraced the hate. They've been that way for years. They forgot what the other way was, and they're never going back. It's just how they're built. Change is nothing they want to deal with. It's almost like a drug addiction. I'm addicted to hate. No, it's just a big waste of time. So no, Trump is right in a way, psychologically. Just Israel and Iran, they hate each other, just the enemy. Netanyahu's hardcore. Khomeini's hardcore, just relentless. No way to trust each other, no way to work out a deal. No, Trump's kind of right with the F-bomb today. Maybe not the best thing a president's supposed to be saying, but it also, that word's powerful in a lot of ways. Is it overused and abused? Of course. Is it harsh and caustic and vulgar? Yes. But also, when the way the president used it today, it's very meaningful. I think it's very applicable. It shows his frustration and rage and how ticked off he is at the stubbornness and blindness of Israel and Iran at certain times during this war and beyond. French Quarter, a French Quarter restaurant owner, a French Quarter resident, sue Mayor Cantrell over the trash contract. This one's so easy. I mean, it'd be like, hey, Mayor, do the right thing. That's so silly. The mayor's incapable of doing the right thing. The mayor is a deviant. The mayor is a contrarian. The mayor likes going against the grain. The mayor has some mental issues, coupled with drinks too much. It's not a good combo. Coupled with doesn't give a crap at all. Coupled with is selfish and narcissistic. Coupled with, man, my 15 minutes of fame is up in January if I don't get indicted first. No, doing the right thing would be IV Waste finishing their deal through December. And before that, like August, September, this fall, in just a few months. Hey, we're bidding out January of 26 and on, 8 years of trash contract for the French Quarter and the CBD. Now, I'd say no problem with Henry Consulting having it. They won it. They deserve it. But they won it, and then they didn't have their you-know-what together. Troy Henry doesn't own a trash company, and that's fine, I guess. But his subcontractor and he were suing each other. So the city had no choice but to get an emergency contractor. That's through December. Troy Henry now has his you-know-what together. Him and Richards are on a good, terms. So they go to the mayor and say, we're ready now. The mayor should have said, well, great, rebid on the next deal. IV Waste is rolling through till December. When you do that, the city wins. The citizens win because IV finishes up their contract. There's a better level of clean that people are expecting, and that would be part of the new 8-year deal. Instead, the mayor's rewarding Henry, who didn't have their you-know-what together, and the only winner is Troy Henry Consulting, not the citizens of New Orleans, not the citizens of the French Quarter, who want the Ivy Waste contract to continue just till December and then rebid on the future. But instead, the mayor's handing it to Henry Consulting, and that's a problem. The clearly right thing to do would be like, Henry, rebid on the next one. Maybe you'll win it. Maybe Ivy Waste wins it again. Maybe River Parish Disposal enters the fray. They win it, or Richards or Metro or Surf Pro, whatever. But it's a rebidding of the contract because Henry didn't have their you-know-what together. So an emergency contract had to come in. It isn't, hey, emergency contract comes in until Henry gets their you-know-what together. Could be a month, could be 6 months. There would be no emergency contract then. No one would want to do it under those terms. No, the simple answer is Ivy Waste till December, and in August or September, just in the next few months, you rebid for the future, for January of 2026 on 8 years, and anyone can win it. Best man or woman wins. Instead, the mayor's tossing Troy Henry a bone when no one wants that except Troy Henry and the mayor. Very strange. Not really, with LaToya.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Not a politician or part of a political machine. Corey Johnson.
I propose that I use what's left of the town treasury to move to a more prosperous town and run for mayor.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
5 o'clock power hour on a Tuesday afternoon in New Orleans. Thanks so much for joining us. 766-9480 is the phone number. You can call anytime. Comment, critique, question, anything. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. The fairgrounds will have a racing season. The Louisiana State Racing Commission approved the dates today, November 20th through March 22nd. Fairgrounds racing season gets the green light. I don't know what the state and Churchill Downs worked out, if anything, but there will be racing out in Gentilly this year. That's a good thing. Canal Barge is a local family-owned business. They've been around over 90 years. 900 employees in 27 states. The Lane family. Merritt Lane, his brother David. They own and run and operate Canal Barge. $500 million in revenue. Just a New Orleans company that's been around a long, long time, working the river and a bunch of other waterways around the country. They have been sold to a Maryland company. They'll still be based out of New Orleans. They'll still be known as Canal Barge. They're not getting absorbed. They're just going to become a subsidiary of this Maryland company. And Merritt Lane will still run Canal Barge. David Lane will still run Canal Barge. We'll talk to Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. on Friday, as we always do. And we'll find out the significance of this. You know, a lot of the time these things are great, and this seems to just be really good. Although it's not locally owned anymore, it's still going to be locally run and operated like no problem, and even by the folks that owned it. But sometimes you have these things get acquired and then they get gobbled up and they go somewhere else. This is Canal Barge. They've got to be in New Orleans. They've got to be on the river. But some of these entities get scooped up, especially tech, and the jobs get eliminated and moved somewhere else. So we'll find out exactly what's going on with Canal Barge when Michael Hecht joins us on Friday. By the way, when Michael Hecht joins us on Friday, that's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. Talking about born-based bread out of New Orleans, this is a private local company. The LePere family owns Latrim. J.M. LePere invented the shrimp peeling machine. He invented the all-plastic modular conveyor belt. He invented the alternating tread stair and hundreds of other worldwide patents from J.M. LePere. He was a genius. His two sons run Latrim, about 1,400 employees on like 100 acres in Elmwood. All they do is keep growing and acquiring warehouses and buildings in Elmwood. Just incredible expansion in that Elmwood area over the last 20 years or so. 100 acres, 1,400 plus employees, all in Elmwood. They're on the North Shore, off I-12, another few hundred employees there. So East Bankers, West Bankers, North Shore folks, Latrim not only has a facility for you, they have a job, a career for you. For a full listing of positions available, go to latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I TRAM, Latrim.com. 5 o'clock power hour, 766-9480. 766-9480. Israel, Iran, a ceasefire. That appears to be the case. Donald Trump says so. Trump also dropping an F-bomb in frustration today, not by the media or the media asking questions he didn't like. Frustration at Israel and Iran. Both Israel and Iran, Trump was sort of ripping. French Quarter, a restaurant owner, a resident suing the mayor over the trash contract. No, I'm hoping that court steps up and IV waste gets to continue through December for two reasons. Because the French Quarter people appear to like it, and it's rare a public service in New Orleans is liked. But second, it's the most fair thing where the future contract goes out for bid. It's not automatically given to Troy Henry, who now has his you-know-what together and didn't have it together originally. There would have been no emergency contract with IV Waste if Henry Consulting had their you-know-what together originally, but they didn't. Now, months later, they do, and the mayor jumps. Okay, Troy, no problem. Now, I've got to get Troy on the program. I requested to get him on last week, but he was out of town. Legitimate. I have no Troy Henry. I call him. He's like, when do you want me on? So I like Troy Henry. I respect Troy Henry. I'm not friends with Troy Henry. I don't go do things with Troy Henry. I don't call him. He doesn't call me. We don't talk about stuff. I don't befriend the people I'm covering, but I don't dislike Troy Henry. I have nothing against him. I'm not trying to get him. You know, I want to know what's going on at Six Flags. I want to know what's going on with the trash contract, all of that. So now I'll get Troy Henry on maybe later this week. I think he's back from his trip. I know. I get a little obsessive with this stuff. I get it. Right on red. You can turn right on red. I know I lose my you-know-what over that. No driving in the left lane. Glad August 1st they're going to be enforcing that and higher fines for folks that drive in the left lane. No driving while your hazard lights are on, traffic cameras, all that good stuff. Traffic cameras going away except for school zones August 1st too. Yeah, you're right. Today, Miss Peaches, I was out in the east, like middle of the day, not even drive time in the morning, not drive time in the afternoon. Obviously, I'm doing my show, like 11:30 out in the east. Everybody driving in the left lane, man, just mind-blowing. Car after car after car, just driving in the left lane, oblivious to it. Having to pass in the middle or right lane, the exit lane, and get all the way back over, shit going back and forth because everybody's just driving in the left lane. Obnoxious. Then about 30 minutes later, I'm coming back from these storming rain, serious rain coming down. Morons driving with their hazard lights on. And today, I really got an example of why it's so damn dangerous, Miss Peaches. Those hazard lights, so you're driving with your lights on. It's storming, raining. The hazard lights are blinking bright or red. When you hit your brakes, it's like the same bright red. Like when the brakes are hit, there's a second or two where you're like thinking it's the hazard light. And then it just stays lit bright red and you realize the truck is braking in front of me. And I was behind some moron in a maroon truck with the hazards on. And he's zigzagging and passing folks with the hazards on. I'm like, dude, why are you proactively passing in a rainstorm with your hazards on? Idiot. And then I'm like, he's braking and I'm behind him, and a lot of distance. I'm like, because the brake lights hit, but I don't know the brake lights are hitting. I think it's the hazards blinking. And then it's staying red. I'm like, he's braking and I'm catching up to him quickly and it's storming. So the hazards in Louisiana, when you see hazard lights blinking, one would assume the vehicle is stopped on the side of the road. That's the law. That's when you turn on your hazards. It's illegal to drive with your hazards on in Louisiana, no matter what the conditions are. That's just the law. So other states you can drive with hazards on, not in Louisiana. Like it or not, that's the law. But what it does is, in Louisiana, you think the person stopped. So you could come around a curve, see hazards, and the vehicle's moving. You might lock up your brakes and cause an accident. Or, like today in the rainstorm, this dope with the hazard lights on, it took me an extra second or two to see if he was braking. And that's could be a second or two too much. I mean, lucky I was way behind him. But if you're just a car length or two behind him, I could have slammed into the back of him because he's driving with the hazards on. Yeah, causing accidents. Driving in the left lane, not passing, causes accidents. Road rage gets people upset. Pull up, go over to the right. I mean, I'm driving in the left lane, passing, and I look in my rearview mirror and someone is just barreling up on me. I accelerate and get over quickly. Let that problem get past me. But I stay over to the right and I pass in that left lane exclusively. And then I get back over to the right. I never drive in the left lane. No, I'm glad August 1st, they're going to be enforcing the driving in the left lane and the fines are much higher. That's smart. They should add to it. No 18-wheelers or big trucks in the left lane in the city. None. And yeah, no driving with your hazard lights on. It's just dangerous. Besides being illegal, it's dangerous. It also yells like, oh my God, I'm so scared. The conditions are so bad on this road. I felt compelled to turn on my hazards. What you should feel compelled to do is get off the road, exit the next exit, and wait for the rain to slow down if you felt compelled to turn on your hazard lights. Anyway, no, I got the double whammy today in the East. Just belligerent folks, more cars in the left lane driving than the middle or the right. It was just obnoxious. I passed in the East from Morrison all the way out to where I was going in the middle and right lane. Just obnoxious. Just endless driving in the left lane in the East. And all over, Causeway, Kenner to Laplace, same thing. And folks in a torrential rainstorm driving with their hazard lights on. So dangerous. So dangerous. People es loco. Es loco. Nothing es loco about Treyen. Muy bueno Treyen. In Mandeville. So damn good. It's not Chinese food, it's Chinese cuisine. Don't forget the Tong Cho sauce. Yeah, you want the best Chinese food in America? It's right here in Metro New Orleans. Treyen in Mandeville. One of the best seafood restaurants anywhere. Treyen in Mandeville. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. Kevin emails us, Corey at Corey Talks. Where are you going? To Visions for the lunch buffet? I guess that's what he talking about me in the East. Is Visions still open? I've never, ever been to Visions in my life, but I'm willing to learn. No, I don't want to learn. I've never been to Visions, but I had a boss that used to go to Visions all the time, a radio sales guy and like a, front office boss type. He was in Visions like 4 days a week during lunch. So I guess there was a lunch buffet. Kevin in Old Metairie apparently thinks there's a lunch buffet at Visions over there on Dowman Road near Chef Highway. Yeah, I didn't know if Visions was still around. This segment brought to you by Visions.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Treyen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Treyen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The true voice of New Orleans, telling it like it is.
I'm very important.
Here's the mouth of the South, Corey Johnson.
Kind of a big deal.
Like, really? Really? Oh. Kevin, who had called or emailed us, Corey at Corey Talks, saying the Visions comment. He also sent me a photo for some reason of he ate at the Island View Buffet and sent me just this nasty photo of the plate of food he ate. I bet you that buffet was like 20 something bucks probably too, huh? Just garbage. I don't get it. I don't really get that at all. I had a couple of buddies take me one time, Miss Peaches. It was across the street from Fausto's. It's that, it's a Mexican joint now, but it was a Chinese buffet at the time. And we normally would go to like Trey Yen or back in the day, I think like China Blossom on the West Bank, Instead, they're like, yeah, we're meeting at this great Chinese restaurant. And it's that buffet. And I'm like, I walk in and they're both sitting there like, for real? And they're like, yeah. And they know me. So, yeah, of course, I sat there and just had ice water while they enjoyed the crappy buffet. They're like, you're really not eating anything? I'm like, of course I'm not eating anything. Of course not. You know me. You think I'm going to eat that crap over there? And then the dude walks out with just this big silver thing of, a gazillion pieces of chicken and just dumps it in the thing. I'm just like stirring it up. Yeah, no. Mixing the old with the new. No. Can I get a fresh order? I'll order just the General's chicken and I'll pay the $15 and I don't need all the other buffet items that have been sitting out here all day. Flies, people breathing, touching the stuff with their hands. Nasty, Miss Peach. I'm not some germaphobe either. I'm telling you. I'm not. I'm at the Exxon the other day. I'm like, just the little thing spinning with hot dogs and whatever. I don't know what the little Mexican fried little tube thing is called that's spinning. Whatever. I'm just like, people are just coughing in there and there's not really any protection. Grocery store, same thing. Buffet, I'm seeing people using their hands, not the tongs, to grab broccoli and stuff and put in the to-go thing. I'm like, really? Wow. And then the gimmick on a lot of grocery store food, huh, Miss Peaches?
What's that?
Well, when they get 500 chickens in, they don't go rotisserie a bunch of them. They put them out on the shelf, and then when it expires in a day or two, they yank it off and they rotisserie it. So the rotisserie chicken you're getting is like a day or two before it gets expired.
I don't think they all do that.
All do that, Miss Peaches. Grocery store rules and regulations.
I hear you.
Why fresh chicken? We're going to, instead of throwing out stuff, we're going to cook it before it gets thrown out. A lot of prepared food at stores and groceries are the stuff that's about to expire.
Have you been to Zapardo's?
Well, yeah, no, I'm telling you, I'm not saying it's bad. It's about to expire.
Somebody, Rouse's even, some of these fat dwarfs.
Oh, no, the prepared food kicks butt and takes go. You kidding me?
You can't even, you have to get there early.
Oh, because it's gone. Langenstein's, of course. I'm just telling you that's the general rule. It makes sense, It's not expired. I'm not saying it's old. No. Now, I will say this. This was funny. I was two times this happened to me. One, I was working, I think, at WWO down the dial. And besides doing like the nighttime show, occasionally like on a Saturday or a weekday, they'd be like, Corey, Magic wants you to go to this remote and do drops. where I'm at a location for 2 hours and the DJ would be like, hey, that was one for the Beatles. Coming up next, Led Zeppelin. But before that, let's go to, Corey out at the Joe Blow Company. Corey, what's going on? I'm like, hey, guys, you need to come out here right now, man. There's, topless women and they're giving $100 bills away, whatever. Back to you, Jimmy. That kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm at this seafood place on the North Shore. It was a restaurant and a seafood retail place. So I'm talking to the owner and I'm just like, Jimmy, it's incredible, man. I mean, you could go into your restaurant and get speckled trout. You guys are cooking. It's fantastic. And then you have the, what would you call it? Not a butcher shop, but the seafood store. What do you call that? Going blank, whatever, the seafood outlet, whatever you call it. Anyway, so his seafood store where he's selling, raw fish and shrimp that you bring home and cook, I'm like, that's great. I mean, you feel like cooking, you can get it from your shop. You don't want to cook, you go to the restaurant and you prepare for it. He goes, Corey, it just works out great. We got all our seafood right when it's about to spoil or expire. We bring it into the restaurant and we cook it at the restaurant. So it works. I'm thinking to myself, wow. So you just said to everyone that comes to the restaurant, the fish really isn't fresh, caught that day or the day before. It's like however many days until it expires, you're serving it at the restaurant right before then. And you just said that during this remote drop. I just moved on. Fantastic. Okay. And I was like, did this guy really just say that? All about him, not the customer, Yeah, we have the seafood store where you can go buy the fish and bring it home yourself, or we'll cook it for you at the restaurant. Instead of, yeah, it's great. When it's about to expire, we just cook it at the restaurant. So you folks are getting stuff that's right before it's about to expire. So I was like, I didn't tell the guy anything. Want to tell the owner? I mean, I might have, I don't know. Knowing me, I might have said, yeah, you probably don't want to say that next time. Might have corrected him. Knowing me, I probably didn't hold my tongue. And then another one was, I was at one of these D-dent places, that D-dents cars, They had a hailstorm. So everybody's car a lot of people's car got damaged. Just major hailstorm causing hail damage to vehicles all over Metro New Orleans. This is like 20 years ago. Hey, that's one from the Beatles. Next up, Led Zeppelin. Let's go to Corey first. He's out at the D-Dent guy, Mr. D-Denter, Mr. Clean the dents off your car, whatever company. Corey, what's going on out there? Hey, yeah, man, that hailstorm, they're real busy out here. I've got Frankie, the owner. Frankie, what's up? Man, I've been waiting for this my whole life. Other people's grief and heartache. That's fantastic. Literally, that's what he said. Like, it's incredible. Business is great. I've been waiting for like a hailstorm my whole life. That's what the guy basically said. I was like, wow. Don't worry about the people out there that they're bummed out and depressed. Their car's damaged. They have to deal with this crap. For you, it's all about you and greatest day of your life, the hailstorm and all the damage. Just mind blowing, Just mind blowing. Hey, we're at the hospital. Doctor, a lot of people have come in from that explosion. It's great for me. I'm really getting to test the skills I learned in school. I mean, it's like unbelievable.
You don't think of a student who had like a really bad situation, like a bomb went off and had to like learn all that emergency stuff at the end of the day, say, that was terrible. Man, I learned though. That was not that it was a great day, but that was a great learning day.
No, I don't think anyone would say that day.
I've seen them do it.
I don't think anyone would say that day.
Yeah, because they...
How's the
not that they were sad because they were just because they were students, they got to like do a first an emergency situation.
Well, that was maybe what the questions were about. But you're telling me like it's some tragedy. Hey, y'all were pulling all the bodies out of the building, and one guy went, "Yeah, it really helped me learn a lot from my life."
I'm talking about these are the younger ones.
Yeah, and they literally were asked about that specific. Well, that makes sense.
That's
yeah,
okay. I've heard.
Well, no, that's like Charity Hospital. Mm-hmm. They're like, you're not talking about the guy who came in, specifically the stab wound and he died on the table. You're just talking about, on a Saturday night, the people that come in with stab wounds or gunshots. It is it's like a MASH unit. It is the best emergency room trauma center experience that you can have. No, I get
So
that.
that guy was just straight up saying, I'm just glad that this happened to people so I can work or
Yeah.
I can fix it.
No, he's saying I'm making a lot of money.
I'm making money.
I'm making a lot of money. My normal business is just de-denting cars from people catching a dent in the parking lot from a door. With a hailstorm, I have hundreds, if not thousands of vehicles coming in. I've been waiting for this my entire life. Everybody else is stressed and bummed out. You know, this guy's fired up about the trauma that everyone's experiencing. So yeah, no, those two remote drops, I mean, not my fault, but I was just like, can't go any worse than that. Can't go any worse than that. Yeah, right before the food spoils, we cook it and serve it to you at our restaurant. And the trauma, the hailstorm that you're bummed out about that's hurting your life, I've been waiting for it my entire life. Your trauma is my benefit. Thank you. All right, back to you, Jimmy. And what do you say, Led Zeppelin next?
Back to you, Corey.
Wow. Crazy. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Someone actually called and said, is Visions actually a sponsor? Someone just emailed.
That's hysterical.
No, Visions is not a sponsor.
Someone confirm if they're still open? Like, I don't
We don't need to confirm if Visions is open or not. Don't need to confirm it, Miss Peaches. Don't really care about Visions. Never been, don't care. Can't be a good place. The sites can't be good. Can't be. It's just impossible. You shouldn't be up there. Oh, wow. Anyway, by the way, at 7:30, Crystal will be performing at Visions tonight. Put your hands together for Crystal. And at 9:30, it's Onyx. Onyx at 9:30 at Visions, Dowman Road. Oh, boy. Kevin and Old Metairie emailing us back. $14.99. I'm assuming the price for the buffet. $14.99, like it's a bargain. What's that? It's a catch-22. If it's too low, it's like, what are you serving me?
It's a little too low. That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
exactly. Exactamundo. Yikes. It's Corey, the snobby, picky eater. 766-9480. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Israel, Iran, ceasefire. Donald Trump says so. A French Quarter restaurant owner and a French Quarter resident suing Mayor Cantrell over the trash contract. I hope they're successful. The fairgrounds will have a racing season. The Louisiana State Racing Commission approved that today, in spite of Churchill Downs and all their complaining. Speaking of complaining, today I was out in the East. The amount of people, I mean, this was like 11:30. Wasn't drive time. Lots of room on the road. The amount of people that drive in the left lane in Metro New Orleans is obnoxious. Out in the East today, so many people driving in the left lane. I literally had to pass in the middle and right lane the whole time I was out there. And then I'm coming back and it's storming. And I've got a few jackasses with the hazard lights on, which makes it difficult to know when they're braking. It takes like a second reaction time later, which could cause a wreck. Illegal to drive in the left lane, folks. Only for passing. That's the law. Illegal to drive with your hazard lights on. I'm just the messenger. You don't like the law? Talk to your legislator. Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock powwow on a Tuesday afternoon.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can. Nothing. All of of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Don't forget you can catch the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on television every weekday afternoon, 4 to 5:30 on Cox Channel 4 TV and Spectrum Channel 333 television.
Correctamundo. Cox Channel 4 television. Cox TV is still the number 1 television provider in the state of Louisiana. So many options, they're still number 1. I'm on Cox Channel 4 weekday afternoons starting at 4 in New Orleans, Metro New Orleans, Metro Baton Rouge, Metro Lafayette. So yeah, in the Crescent City, the capital city in Cajun country. Gotta like that. We're on the old charter system too. Spectrum Channel 333. 3 cubed, not squared. 3 cubed, 333. Weekday afternoons at 4 p.m., 4 p.m., 4 p.m. That's Spectrum Channel 333 in Slidell, Covington, Mandeville. You know Mandeville, Trey Yen country. Hammond, Houma, Thibodaux, Opelousas. Cox Channel 4, Spectrum Channel 333, 4 to 5:30. Now we're on YouTube till 6 o'clock like we are on radio. Also find 93.9 FM. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube, 4 to 6. Check us out live or check us out after the fact. And click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost a thing. Every day, this program on radio, television, and YouTube brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner and Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood, home of the Lamarck Ford Big Store. Lamarck Ford for nearly 50 years in Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln, number 1 Lincoln dealership in the state. Commercial van, truck, or SUV, that's Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood. Boy, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. The Real Deal with Dan Real. He joins us every single Tuesday at 4:20 till 5 o'clock. 40 minutes chock full of topics. And we covered a bunch, from Israel and Iran to Trump sending in the B-2s, to Louisiana's 10 Commandments law being unconstitutional, to August 1st and the cameras, traffic cameras, becoming illegal in Louisiana except for school zones. The Sewage and Water Board substation, that $300 million power plant, supposed to open in 3 weeks. I shouldn't say power plant, substation to the power plant. The big red heart removed on top of the pedestal at Old Lee Circle. What should go there? What should that area be named? Tivoli Circle is what it is officially named. I like that name. Stick with that. Kenner cancels the Hispanic Heritage Festival, fear of ICE raids. 84 arrested in ICE raids at Delta Downs in Vinton, Louisiana. The council discussing shutting down traffic on parts of Bourbon Street. We didn't even get into that. The Supreme Court upholds a Tennessee law on transgender minors from using puberty blockers and hormone therapy. State Senator Blake Miguez going after Bill Cassidy's U.S. Senate seat. The commercial with him firing the guns. The commercial literally starts with, I'm a marksman. I mean, can you imagine running for office? I like spaghetti and meatballs. And you're just sitting at a table slurping down spaghetti and meatballs. You know, like, this meatball represents crime. I'm going to eat it. This meatball represents infrastructure. I'm going to eat it. This swirl of pasta on my fork, that represents education. I'm going to eat it. That's basically what he did. I'm a marksman. And then he has these spray paint cans with, I don't know, stuff on them. He throws the cans in the air and shoots them. Now, Blake Miguez, I'm not denying you're a marksman or not, but you used a 2-camera shot on the paint cans you threw up in the air. Shows you throwing the paint can in the air, and then it just shows the paint can by itself exploding. Apparently a bullet hitting it. Now, I often talk about Trey Yen and the Wong brothers. The Wongs have, amongst the 5 Gourmet Chef brothers, a couple of them are great shooters. They've got some, sons and relatives, nephews, nieces, cousins that are world-class marksmen. They have their own shooting range on the North Shore in Robert. That's where I go with the Wong brothers and shoot. Mostly with Tommy Wong. He's basically teaching me. He has taught me how to shoot. There's a video of these milk bottles, like 100 of them lined up, and one of the Wong brothers just knocking them down with a pistol from 40 feet. And then, ejecting and loading another cartridge with not even missing a beat. And just tick, 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 tick. I mean, if there were 80 of these bottles, he shot 82 times. He maybe missed twice. Then there's another video where he shoots this target and then it ejects a skeet. And with this pistol, he shoots the skeet in the air. So it's a timing thing where you got to know where the skeet's not going up anymore. And right before it's about to go down, it stops for a millisecond where it's not going up anymore and it's not going down. It's right at that point, boom, you pop it. That's what these expert marksmen do. You and me, Miss Peaches, we'd be shooting on the way up, shooting on the way down. Lucky if we hit it 100 times, we shot at it. Things moving. Point is, it's one camera. You see the Wong brothers shoot the target. Then the skeet ejects, and the second shot, the target blowing up. One camera. Blake Miguez is him throwing the paint can in the air with the pistol in his hand, and then a second shot of just the paint can blowing up. So I don't know. Did he shoot it? Did it take 100 shots for him to shoot it? The video of the Wong brothers, it's one shot. Skeet blowing up. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying Blake Miguez isn't a marksman, but he should have got it in one shot. It would have been a much better effect on the commercial. I've reached out to Blake Miguez, who is a Louisiana state senator who wants to be a U.S. senator, take over Bill Cassidy's seat. I've called his office a half dozen times. I've emailed him about 3 times. Not a single reply back. Not a reply back. For whatever reason, Blake Miguez wants to have nothing to do with the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. And 2 things, I don't care. It doesn't affect me one bit. And second thing, sad and pathetic for Blake Miguez. I don't know about you. If I would go on any program, anytime, any topics. I'm not scared to say I don't know. I'm not worried about what I might say. I mean, you're a state senator. You want to run for U.S. Senate, and you're not going to come on the show. I don't get it. No, I'm going to keep trying. But the only problem is, Miss Peaches, I get a little more belligerent as time goes on. That's what happened with me and the governor's girl who was supposed to line things up. It just dragged on and on. 3 months, getting delayed. He's on with Newell in town. He's on with Moon Griffon around the state. You know, the softball pitches, Republican hosts, asking easy questions. I guess they were worried about getting real questions. And then I was like, is this ever going to happen? Kind of was like my email, with that kind of attitude after 3-4 months. And it kind of just went away. But I'll see the governor in person again one day and explain the situation. He'll probably go, let's do it. And we'll start over again, Miss Peaches.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.